Every weight loss method has the same driving mechanism in which it works. Calories in, calories out. This video goes through a little proof to either show you why it's working or why it's not working, and how you can, push it to work better. And I always like to end my videos with a couple of tips and tricks to help you out that are psychology based. Let's go over the proof of concept real quick. So to figure out how many calories you need to maintain your current weight, you're going to take your current weight in pounds, and you're going to multiply that by 12. That's going to give you a good estimation of how many calories you currently need to maintain your weight. So for me, it's going to be this. All right, for simplicity's sakes, I'm just going to round this down just to have nice even whole numbers. So now you can think of your body as kind of a simple input-output system. All right, so in column 1, you're going to have what you need to maintain. Column 2 is what you're going to be eating, how much you're going to be eating. And column 3 is going to be your plus or minus output. So right now we need 2,000 calories. Right, if we eat more than that, say 200 extra calories, we've added 200 calories. Then the next day we eat, we're going to need 2,200 calories to maintain our current weight. And our body wants to have homeostasis, so it's going to, that's why this plus or minus is here. Then if you eat less, right, you go down 200. Brain, please. Right? So now you're back here. And then the less you eat, the more you'll lose. But if you eat what you need to maintain, you'll be plus or minus 0. This is what your body wants to do all the time, is have homeostasis. So you just have to recognize it as an input-output system, and then suddenly it becomes a little clearer. Right? Now, it's never this clean. It's not this black and white. These numbers aren't going to be pretty like this. This is just for simplicity's sake. What's more likely to happen, what's probably going to happen, is you're going to eat 500 less than whatever that number shows you. So what was that number? It was like 2440. You're going to eat less than this. Other way. You're going to eat less than this to lose weight. So let's just say I eat 1,800. Right? If I'm eating 1,800, the next day, it's probably going to be more like, I don't know, like this, because your body's always, not your body, your brain will do little things to slow calorie burn. Like if you tap your legs a bunch, you'll stop tapping your legs a bunch. If you have a ton of energy and just want to go for a walk, you might not. But as long as you still eat like this, you will slowly bring this down. Right? Until these two become equal. Because your body wants homeostasis. Now, there's a couple of handful of ways that you can drive this factor. There's a couple of ways you can make sure that that calorie counting, or that calories in and calories out, that mechanism is working. And the easiest way is to calorie count. Are we Krita, we're back. Krita crashed. It's fine. It's a free app and it works amazing 99% of the time. Anyways, calorie counting. It's super easy. Protein is going to be 4 calories per gram. Carbs is also 4 calories per gram, and fat is 9 calories per gram. This is a very well-known thing, and this is what like bothers me so much about keto. You're literally eating foods that are twice the amount of calories as the other two. So therefore you have to eat significantly less food to lose weight. It's backwards. But everyone tells you that that you eat more food, but you don't. You literally, the math doesn't math. You literally eat less food. You have to lose weight on keto. Now, you can do this manually with like, pen, paper, or whatever, and keep track of all this manually. But there's apps. There's literally an app for that. This is the app that I use. You can see today, I still have 2,300 calories. I don't really care about these, right? The only one I really care about is protein, but in order to get this, I kind of have to fill it out for this app, but it's not a big deal. So this app lets you put in the calories manually, or it tracks it for you. And all I do is I type it in. So all I do, right, if I have the product in front of me, I'll just go off of the product information. And, oh my God, there we go. So I'll just go off the product information and I'll just put it in and it'll pop up. If I don't have the product information, I'll just Google it and then I'll base it off of 100 grams because that's what this app uses, right? 100 grams of spinach isn't 20 calories. I just use that as a one serving. It's 85 grams of spinach is 20 calories or whatever. But for things like fruit and stuff, I just Google 100 grams and then I base that off of it and then it does all the calculating for me. That's all I do. You can get the apps anywhere. Any food tracking app is going to work for you. So what I recommend to make this stuff a little more easier is 1, use the food app. 2, make sure you're using the right equipment, right? If you're measuring solids, this is any food you eat that is solid. Weigh it and measure it by weight. Do not measure your solid foods like fruits and vegetables with a unit of volume. This measures liquids, not solids. Don't have a cup of grapes. Have X grams of grape instead. This measures liquids. The scale measures volumes. The scale is $35. $35 to lose 300 pounds is worth it. I promise you. So make sure you're measuring your unit, you're measuring your foods in the correct units. If it's solids, just measure it by weight. It's an extra second, if that. And then your liquids could be measured by volume. That is fine. And 2, the other thing I recommend doing is having a journal. This journal is from 2022. See if I can show that. Okay, well, I can kind of show that. But here I drew a little calendar and then I signed each day that I hit my calorie goals or just in general. Then I actually wrote out the food manually, but you don't have to do that. And then at the bottom here is a summary of the week. That could just be how you feel, whatever, it helps. You don't have to do that, but it does help. It really helped me go from, this is 166, but I did originally was 190 when I started this. When I started pushing to lose weight anyways. And then in my journal, my last weigh-in was 144. And that was in February. So from December, is that February? Yeah, from December to February, I went from 166 to 144. So having the journal really helps, but just measure all your foods and in the correct units of measurement is going to help you. Calories in, calories out is the mechanism in which all weight loss works, and the easiest way to make sure that factor is working is calorie counting. It helps with GLP-1s and gastric surgeries if you're doing both of those. If you're doing a fad diet, I mean, I don't recommend doing a fad diet. Just eat the foods you like, just eat it appropriately. But if you want to do a fad diet, you still have to weigh out your foods to make sure that driving factor is working. Just calorie count. Just calorie count. You can do it on your fingers. It's super easy, I promise.